Please welcome tonight's MC, Emily Kramer-Golinkoff.
How about these show tunes? Woo! Welcome to Emily's Entourage Drive-In Gala. I am Emily Kramer-Golinkoff, Emily's brother, and I am so excited to host tonight for what is undoubtedly our most unique event ever. Woo! This is certainly an unconventional night as we're gathered here in the parking lot of Adath Israel. Thank you, Adath Israel, for kindly allowing us to celebrate here this evening. We were determined to make this gala happen safely, despite the continuing challenges of COVID. And you showed up, here we are. You'll notice that I'm here on stage, and I'm gonna be very, very careful. I'm still in my family, the Kramer-Golinkoff, or the KG bubble. So when others come on stage, I'm gonna scoop back. I will say, so my younger sister, Julia, she's outside of our bubble. She's gonna give the hugs. She's gonna express the love. Our number one goal throughout the pandemic has been to keep Emily and our younger sister, Annie, safe. Yeah, Annie. This event epitomizes the perseverance and out-of-the-box thinking that is Emily's Entourage. Whether you're here with us in person, in your car, or you're joining us virtually from your home, we thank you. We love you, and we're so grateful for your support. My sister, Emily, or Ia as we call her, was born with cystic fibrosis, a fatal genetic disease that primarily affects the lungs and digestive system. Ia's type of CF is rare. She has what's known as a nonsense mutation, so it wasn't getting much funding from the scientific community. Ia has 32% lung function, and she spends countless hours trying to salvage that, with intensive breathing treatments, over 30 pills a day, and insulin shots for CF-related diabetes. We started Emily's Entourage 10 years ago to make sure Ia and others like her get the breakthrough they so desperately need. Our progress has been phenomenal, but we're not there yet, and it's a race against time. For most of the CF population, there have been extraordinary breakthroughs in the treatment of CF. In 2019, the FDA approved a revolutionary new therapy for 90% of the CF community. For that 90%, it's a lifesaver. Within a few doses, people are able to climb stairs, go for a run, take a deep breath, and begin planning for a future that actually feels possible. The only problem, those with nonsense mutations like my sister are in the outlying 10%. They do not benefit from these lifesavers. For them, CF remains the same deadly disease it has always been. Emily's Entourage is working tirelessly to make sure that everyone in the CF community experiences life-saving breakthroughs in their lifetime. Tonight, we celebrate the power of 10. 10 years of Emily's Entourage. 10 years for the final 10%. And a goal of hitting $10 million since EE started 10 years ago. Woo! $10 million. That's right. I love this. This reminds me of my 7th grade classroom when I was teaching. This is what I got. Helping us kick off our milestone gala is a special friend to Emily's Entourage. When Ia and my mom Liza met this powerhouse in 2017, they were struck by how she leaned in with a genuine caring and desire to help. Please turn your attention to a very familiar face with a deeply heartfelt message for our entourage.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sheryl Sandberg. Congratulations on the 10th anniversary of Emily's Entourage, and thank you for inviting me to join this celebration. You should all be so proud of what you've accomplished over the last 10 years. You've raised $10 million. You've launched your own cystic fibrosis gene therapy company, and you've funded 22 research grants to academic institutions around the world to expedite treatments and a cure for nonsense mutations of CF. None of this incredible work would be possible without the leadership and commitment of Emily and her family. Emily is one of the most remarkable and defiantly optimistic people I've ever known. When we met, she shared so openly about her battle with CF and how it led her to create Emily's Entourage in her parents' living room a decade ago. I was so moved by Emily's mom and biggest supporter, Liza, and by her determination to give Emily the very best life possible. I know that the pandemic has been especially hard for CF patients and their families, but I hope each of you know that you're not alone. The entire Emily's Entourage community stands with you. Collective resilience changes lives. I know this and learned it firsthand. We don't just build resilience in ourselves, but we build it in each other. And that's exactly what Emily's Entourage is all about. The care and compassion you show one another makes a big difference. To everyone here, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the life-saving work you are leading. And please know that I am cheering you on always.
Wow, pretty amazing, right? We're so grateful to have Sheryl in our entourage. That was awesome. Hey everyone, I'm Julia, Emily's sister, and I'm delighted to introduce you to our honorary chairs for tonight's event. Lori and Ted Bernstein. I could take this off now. Much better. Maybe you can hear me better as well. As luck would have it, my family met Lori and Ted 9 years ago at a TEDx event. We were giving a talk that night, and so was their daughter. From the moment we met, the Bernsteins and the Kramer-Golinkoffs just clicked. We had a lot in common, including 4 kids all around the same age. When they found out that Emily has cystic fibrosis, they vowed they'd learn everything they could about the disease. And they did. Lori and Ted and the whole Bernstein family have enveloped us with love, friendship, Shabbat dinners, and an unwavering support. They became deeply involved in Emily's Entourage from the earliest days, with Ted sitting on the board and Lori on the Gala steering committee for every event. For our 10th anniversary, we're delighted to honor them because they're such a source of life-sustaining support for us. Lori and Ted, please join me. We wouldn't be where we are today without you.
Beautiful. Stay close to us. Okay.
Julia, thank you. Ted and I are thrilled to be honorary chairs for the 10th Gala, reaching a remarkable $10 million raised for the critical research work Emily is driving. It was Kramer-Golinkoff Bernstein love from the moment we met. For us, the heart and soul of Emily's Entourage is the awe-inspiring Kramer-Golinkoff family. Annie, you're the pinnacle of your household and the president of EE. When you laugh, it completely fills my body from head to toe with love. Julia, you're so beautiful with a heart of gold. I love seeing your adventurous spirit as well as your lasting magical moments you create for your family. Love you. Kobe, when you walk into any room, and especially when you walk into your home, it's a ray of light for all. Your devotion to Ia and her dreams is awe-inspiring. And Emily, you're a force to be reckoned with, so incredibly bright, intuitive, and driven. You blow us away with your resolve and tenacity, and you inspire us to all do better and care more deeply. Michael, you're the underlying strength of your family and the entourage. Your selfless commitment, doing everything for your family with such kindness and compassion. And Liza, they broke the mold with you. You're not only the most spectacular mother to your amazing 4 children, but you do everything with complete, genuine love and concern for others. I always tell you, you have the happy gene. It's true. You make our world infinitely better.
I was recently asked, what makes EE different from other philanthropies? And my answer, it's an organization steeped in love. I encourage anyone to attend an entourage meeting with the EE leadership, Gala committee, or even the medical advisory board. Lori and I are in awe of the incredible support, focus, and expertise entourage members pour in. As entourage members, we understand firsthand the challenges of how COVID has besieged the Kramer-Golinkoff family, already at risk, and threatens the success of annual fundraising and even this important gala. We also know too well that time marches on, and hence the urgency is upon us as Emily races to develop a cure. Please join our family as we renew our commitment to do all we can to recognize the dream for a cure and make this 10th anniversary the best EE event yet. Please, please give generously. Thanks very much.
Lori and Ted, we absolutely adore you. There is no one that we love and admire more than both of you and your entire family. I can honestly say that I can speak on behalf of our whole family. Our world got better the day the Bernsteins step in it. So thank you, and we love you. Next, I have some very special thank yous. But first, one note, you guys are really quick with the honking thing. I love it. As an alternative option, in lieu of applauding, you also can take the glow stick that you received when you entered the parking lot, and you can raise it up in the air and spread that light and love that we appreciate so much. Your choice, do what you want with it. Next, I would like to thank our incredibly generous corporate sponsors for making this evening possible. First, presenting sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Amethyst sponsor, Viatris. Violet sponsors, AbbVie, Boehringer Ingelheim Pharmaceuticals, Enterprise Therapeutics, Spirovant Sciences, and Translate Bio, a Sanofi company. Thank you to our individual presenting sponsors, Jill and Mark Fishman, Marcia and Ned Kaplan Foundation, and Eli and Pauline Neerman Family Foundation. Thank you to our in-kind donors, Adith Israel and TPD Design House. Last but not least, thank you to the Emilys-Entourage staff, Laura DiTrapano, Aisling Knight, Megan Shapenka, Alyssa Wofford, and EE's honorary president, Annie the Prez Kramer-Golinkoff. Now, it is time to announce our 2021 Emilys-Entourage Champions and Cure Finders crew. These outstanding philanthropic leaders are raising funds to help propel us towards fast breakthroughs. Here to tell us more about these very special supporters is a former and consummate champion herself. She has been an absolute visionary and total rock star for our EENY event since the very beginning. Welcome, Nikki Bernstein.
Thanks so much, Co. As you heard from Julia earlier, my family's love affair with the Kramer-Golinkoffs started 9 years ago when Emily, Kobe, Julia, and my sister shared a TEDx stage. For those of you that know the Kramer-Golinkoffs personally, I think you'll agree with me that there are few words to describe how truly special this family is. I've been lucky enough to be part of the EENY Planning and Champions crew, as well as a friend of Emily's for several years. Emily's life looks different from other women our age, but she continues to love hard, care so deeply, and dedicate every second of her life to making the world a better and ideally CF-free place. Emily, knowing you is an honor of a lifetime. For me, you're really up there alongside my heroes like Michelle Obama and Beyonce. And watching you build this incredible organization and community is beyond inspirational. I'm clearly just one of many who have been taken by Emily and her entourage and were moved to help. A huge shout out goes to the Cure Finders crew, who raised more than $51,000. Woo! This is an amazing group comprised of people with CF and those who love them. Having people with CF join our entourage is probably the single most meaningful thing to us. And we've been particularly touched to not just have members of the final 10% of the CF community, but to also have members of the 90% that is benefiting from new drugs and paying it forward, the truest testament to the solidarity of the CF community. We are also so grateful to have had 7 individual champions and 5 champion teams. Some fun facts about this year's champs. One is a student in Paris who discovered EE on YouTube, 1 point for social media. Another owns not 1, but 2 pet pigs, which is incredibly cool. One takes the cake for our youngest champion to date at just 1.5 years old. Talk about overachieving. We have mahjong players, new parents, teachers, bakers, and a few of Emily's closest childhood and college friends. Given the fact that the world is upside down with all the implications of COVID, our champions went above and beyond to collectively raise more than $29,000. Let's see those glow sticks. Woo! And now for the EE Champion of the Year, the team that raised the most money during their campaign. I'm going to need everyone to drum roll inside their cars and at home. All right. The 2021 Champ of the Year goes to Team Seeking a Cure. This team, made up of a group of Emily's best friends from college all across the country, raised $14,313. Accepting on behalf of the crew is Julie Wertheimer. Let's hear it for Julie.
'Cause I'm on top of the world, I'm on top of the world, Been waiting on this for a while now, paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to smile, to hold me in for a while, take you with me if I can.
Please shine some light on Team Seeking a Cure and all of our Rockstar 2021 CF crew and champions. I think I speak on behalf of many of this year's champions and Cure Finders crew. No matter what it takes, we're committed to being part of the entourage and are honored to be part of this 10th anniversary celebration. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Nikki, and thank you to our awesome champions and Cure Finders crew. The trajectory of Emily's entourage blows my mind. It all started, as you heard, 10 years ago on our living room floor. We took guesses as to how much we could possibly raise. Maybe $10,000, maybe $20,000. Never in our wildest dreams did we imagine this. How did we get here? The answer is you. This entourage makes it all possible. On this milestone, our 10th anniversary, let's take a look back to see where we started and how far we've come.
When Emily was born, everything was perfect. About 9 weeks, we get this news that she has cystic fibrosis.
And we realized that she had this fatal disease. Our life sort of collapsed.
If we did nothing, then what? We had to do something.
We started Emily's Entourage in December of 2011.
We quickly got to work filming a video, and we started just like storyboarding. I mean, we had no idea what we were doing.
The first email going out, everybody took a deep breath and we pushed send.
Within the first week, we raised over $40,000. It was shocking.
We didn't know anything about science. We didn't know anything about fundraising, and we clearly didn't know anything about having a gala.
That first gala, we baked and we cooked. It really was a very grassroots, but a beautiful, beautiful evening. We started with a dream, with an event. You know, here we are coming into 10 years and we're changing lives.
It's a growth story as well as a story about a search for a cure.
We are in a battle for sure, but it's a battle we're going to win.
The first grant we wrote was 2014.
We started building these incredibly deep and enduring relationships with researchers at academic institutions and also at companies.
We recognized early that if we were going to make progress, we needed to bring together some of the best minds in the business. Together, we could make a multi-pronged attack on the problem.
The first scientific meeting was in 2015.
And people got excited in the meeting.
They want to move the science forward.
Out of that, we formed our scientific advisory board.
We were asking them what their barriers were, like what they needed to do more, to go faster.
The research community has benefited tremendously from interacting with Emily, from interacting with Emily's entourage.
Everybody understands what's at stake.
Every year we've grown, every year we've done more, every year we've made more breakthroughs.
Next, Emily Kramer-Golinkoff, co-founder of Emily's Entourage.
Over the last 10 years, Emily's Entourage has funded 22 research grants at top academic institutions around the world.
The early funding that we have done have attracted $37.5 million of follow-on funding to drive the discoveries that wouldn't be in the market at all but for the initial dollars that Emily's Entourage invested.
We found a management company and ended up giving them the seed funding to launch a CF gene therapy company.
They're about to be in the clinic with patients, which is incredibly exciting.
Everything that they're doing can affect, first and foremost, Emily, but so many others.
Emily is very clear that she is doing this for all the others.
What gives me hope are two things: science and people.
We get up a lot of days and don't make a difference. They've given us the gift of making a difference.
When I think of Emily's Entourage, I think of strength and resiliency.
For those in the 10%, the sand in the hourglass keeps moving along.
I have no doubt that the kind of work that we're supporting will get to the answer. For us as a family, our only question is, do we get to that answer soon enough?
Like sometimes Emily will say, you know, who knows if it will help her? Like I pray that it will help her.
There have been lots of insurmountable challenges in history. You know, it takes courageous, bright, driven people to overcome those challenges.
We know until there's a cure, we have to keep going.
When I think of Emily's Entourage, I think of gratitude.
They've given me hope, that they've allowed me to look at my daughter in a different way.
Thank you for not abandoning us. Thank you for caring in that way.
We know how to correct this disease. Like, we know how to do this. We have 10% more to go. That's not a whole lot.
Because they're human lives and they've got dreams and they've got things that they need to do in this world where you're just not finished yet.
And I particularly believe in our entourage of people. And I think that there is nothing that we can't do together.
Wow. There is so much to be proud of. Next is the moment we've all been waiting for. Ia is here tonight. She's in that cozy car right over there, but she'll be joining us on screen for her remarks for health reasons. But it is my distinct honor to introduce my fierce, incredible sister, Emily Kramer-Golinkoff.
In February of this year, I noticed some swelling in my feet. Honestly, I wasn't that worried. I figured it would just resolve with time. But a few days went by, and then a few more, and yet the swelling persisted. In fact, my feet were getting bigger. As someone who wears a size 4.5 shoe, I can tell you those are truly words I never imagined uttering. So I reached out to my doctors. Wear compression socks, elevate, cut down on salt, they said. I followed all of their recommendations, and yet my now not so little feet continued to swell. The doctors asked lots of questions. Did I have increased shortness of breath? Was my exercise capacity reduced? Were there any other symptoms? No, I said. They recommended blood work to check on my kidney and liver. The next step would be to check on my heart, but they felt that was unlikely since I otherwise seemed fine. The kidney and liver test checked out. I felt both relieved and more concerned. If not kidney and liver, then what? The next step was a heart echo to rule out heart involvement. At the echo lab, I leaned back on the exam table as the technician conducted the test. She could sense my intense anxiety. I mean, it wasn't that well disguised. And so I did as one does in those moments. I cleverly tried to extract all of the information that I possibly could from the poker face technician about what she was seeing. I got nothing. Then the wait for results began. One day came and went, and then another. I was checking my email and my phone, first periodically and then obsessively. Nothing. My anxiety was mounting. In moments of anxiety, I crave information, so I dove into research mode. I started Googling voraciously and honed in on this uncommon form of pulmonary hypertension that is a complication of advanced lung disease. The more I read, the more certain I became that this is what I had. Still, no word from the doctor. As time passed and I kept waiting and researching, I felt this foreboding sense of dread building inside of me. I could feel it in my gut that the results weren't going to be good. And with advanced stage disease, each new complication that emerges is a major strike against me. All it takes is one cold, one little complication to throw off my precarious grip on health, dramatically reducing my already low odds of survival. I have no cushion for complications. Now, I was awaiting the verdict of another complication. It was like I was living in this doom-filled limbo, knowing bad news was coming and just waiting for it to descend upon me, petrified about what it would mean for my life, for my future. Finally, on that Friday evening, I got the call. Emily, we got your echo results. They showed elevated pressures in your pulmonary arteries. The diagnosis, pulmonary hypertension secondary to lung disease, confirming my worst suspicions. I had grown used to having advanced lung disease. I'd even become used to having CF-related diabetes and arthritis. But now my heart? Are you kidding me? Questions flooded my head. How would this impact my CF? Would I decline faster? Would this make me ineligible for lung transplant in the future? Could I even survive? My diagnosis came as a shock and a wake-up call. As hard as I tried to delay the progression of my CF, and even when I think I'm succeeding, this disease is insidious and inescapable, ravaging my body even when operating totally undetected. Now, I know a lot of people with CF, and I don't know one other person with this particular complication. Rare and uncommon seems to be my forte. But in all seriousness, as my doctors and I have reflected on my diagnosis, we've come to believe that I developed it because I've been living with advanced stage CF for so long. Most people only hit the 30% lung function range briefly when they're either being listed for lung transplant or tragically in the process of dying. I've been in this 30% range for well over a decade. And so, in a strange twist of events, my development of pulmonary hypertension is actually an unfortunate fallout of my good fortune, of being one of the lucky ones to live so long with such low lung function. Luck is a funny thing, isn't it? 10 years ago, when we started Emily's Entourage, I can tell you that given the advanced state of my CF at the time, nobody would have expected me to still be alive today. It wasn't a matter of pessimism, it was a matter of statistics. And yet, here I am, about to turn 37 next month, with my original set of lungs, lung function still in the 30s, defying all of the odds. In fact, 10 years ago when we started Emily's Entourage, there was a lot that we never could have expected. Just think, we were a family of 6, 2 with severe medical issues, struggling to stay afloat as it was. We had no background in science and a true aversion to fundraising. In fact, the thought of asking people for money gave us hives, and it still kind of does. We had no clue what we were doing, no illusion that we did. I was a person with advanced stage CF, for crying out loud. And yet, here we are, 10 years later, with 22 research grants funded, $37.6 million in follow-on financing secured, a CF gene therapy company launched and acquired, a little, scrappy, crazy-driven nonprofit playing on a global stage, literally defying all the odds. The other week, I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Noubar Afeyan, the founder of Moderna, and I heard a quote that literally stopped me in my tracks. The company started back in 2010 at a time when nobody was taking mRNA seriously. But Dr. Afeyan had big eyes and even bigger ambitions. Unsatisfied with the traditional incremental progress of science, he sought to create transformative innovation leaps. In reflecting on the origins of Moderna, he stated, "Completely transformative things can come out of unreasonable beginnings. And if all you do is look for reasonable beginnings, you're probably not going to find breakthroughs." It hit me so deeply because that same swing for the fences approach that yielded perhaps the most monumental scientific advancement in our lifetime, mRNA vaccines for the COVID pandemic, that is the same approach that underlies our work at Emily's Entourage. Our beginnings were unreasonable in every possible way, but it was those unreasonable beginnings that meant we were willing to put it all on the line. The urgency of our situation pushed us to take risks that nobody else would take because we had nothing to lose. That urgency pushed us to work harder, to dream bigger, to push the boundaries further than anyone else would. Our willingness to swing big for breakthroughs, born from desperation, that was our competitive advantage. Because it turns out you can learn the science, you can figure out how to raise money, you can learn about nonprofit tax status and even donor management systems. But you can't just acquire the kind of passion, fearlessness, and drive to win that we, this most amazing entourage, collectively have. That's the force that creates breakthroughs. Perhaps the best proof of our progress to date is that our research projects are advancing to clinical stage, meaning new treatments actually reaching patients. In fact, I'm thrilled to share that one phage therapy that we developed at Yale is currently being evaluated by the FDA as an emergency compassionate use treatment for a teenager with CF. In other words, a treatment created and funded by Emily's Entourage is on the brink of being given to a person with CF. Those are your dollars potentially treating a person with CF for the very first time. Just let that sink in. And there's more. Another project funded by Emily's Entourage to explore an antifungal drug as a treatment for the underlying defect in CF went on to produce such compelling early data that they spun out a new company. That company has secured $25 million in financing to develop the treatment into a new CF therapy. Again, your dollars at work developing new promising potential treatments for all people with CF. And then there's Spirovant Sciences, the CF gene therapy company that we launched in 2016. It was acquired in early 2020 and is now submitting an investigational new drug application to the FDA to begin a clinical trial in patients. The gene therapies that Spirovant is developing would not only treat all mutations of CF, but could also potentially create cures. Talk about innovation leaps. The trajectory of these projects shows EE's unique ability to identify the most promising science, convene the leading players, and use novel funding mechanisms to bring life-saving treatments to patients fast. And while we remain as steadfastly committed to accelerating research as ever, we realize that bringing life-saving treatments to patients with CF is complex and multidimensional. And so this past year, we've expanded our scope. In addition to funding the most promising research, we've developed a clinical trial matchmaking program to speed clinical trial recruitment, completing our first pilot project with a biotech company earlier this year and embarking on our second as we speak. We're also highly focused on building relationships with regulators. This past July, we held a patient listening session with the FDA to educate the staff about the urgent unmet treatment needs of the final 10% and encourage expedited approvals of new therapies. From the lab to trials through regulatory approvals, we are teeing up all steps of the drug development process so that the moment a therapy is ready, we can usher it through to patients with CF in record speed. And that's a good thing, because there are thousands of people just like me, Lizzie and Stacy, Aiden and Natalie. We are the 10% left behind by the breakthroughs, still contending with the same killer disease that CF has always been. Its inescapable grip ravaging our fragile bodies as we sink under the suffocating force of CF. That feeling of perishing is only magnified by the radical transformations 90% of the CF community is experiencing. Our hearts are overcome with happiness for them, but they're desperate too, desperate to join them. But you see, if there's one thing that we've learned from Emily's entourage, it is that adversity doesn't stop us, it propels us. It pushes us to dream bigger, to push further, to swing for the fences. As we heard from Dr. Afayan, that is where innovation leaps are made, where breakthroughs are born. 10 years in, and we are making breathtaking progress. For the first time, research is advancing, trials are starting, the system is teed up. Breakthroughs for the final 10% feel truly within reach. But time is a double-edged sword. With 10 years of impact comes 10 years of disease progression and 10 more years without therapies for the final 10%. Changing that is up to you. This entourage, all of you, you are the dreamers and believers, the risk takers and breakthrough makers, a collection of the most passionate and devoted people in the universe gathered together in this parking lot on the mission of a lifetime to create life-saving breakthroughs and build a future where we can all, 100% of us, finally breathe easier. Thank you.
It's 2005. I'm sitting in Mr. Reese's 5th period biology class. He begins lecturing, and my mind wanders to whatever it is that 9th graders think about. You could still call it biology. I can't hear the laughs, but I know. But then I hear cystic fibrosis, and Mr. Reese comes into focus. He says the average life expectancy for someone with CF is in the low 30s. What? That's not possible. Frantic, I begin flipping through my textbook for something to prove him wrong. But there it is in bold text, average life expectancy, low 30s. Ia was already 20. My beautiful big sister, with hopes and dreams and boundless potential. In that moment, I became a kid whose older sister was not just sick, but might die. And soon, my universe shattered. In 2011, our world shifted again. Ia's health was rapidly declining. There was no hope on the horizon, so we had to do something. We thought that if we could introduce my brilliant, dynamic sister to the world, we could show people how their support could help Ia and others like her. We decided to make a video, and in true Ia fashion, anyone who knows her, we were going to do it right. We spent hundreds of hours on that first video, an endless merry-go-round of new ideas and creative clashes. In the end, it was raw and honest, very homemade, but it was our masterpiece. I remember pushing send on that first email. We put out a call, and it was met tenfold with an outpouring of love and support. That was all of you. I was compulsively checking our donation page, and in that first week, 20, 30, $40,000. I remember it sinking in. This is going viral. In that moment, I became the co-founder of Emilys-Entourage. We had created a movement that could save my sister and everyone like her. We had redefined what was possible. Our universe shifted. In 2020, the pandemic flipped our world upside down. For Ia, who has 32% lung function, COVID could be catastrophic. She has no cushion for complications. So as a family, we've decided to eliminate all risks. No stores, no socializing. They still disinfect all groceries. Julia and I have to quarantine for 10 days every time we go home, hence the bubble. Remember the height of the pandemic? The isolation, the fear. My family's been stuck in that place for 22 months. It's painful for them, and it's painful for me. I'm straddling two worlds. When I'm inside their bubble, I love being with my family, but I'm missing out on my life. And when I'm on the outside, I'm free, but I feel immense guilt. I'm watching my family sink, powerless to help. Desperate to make things easier, I asked Ia, can't we loosen the restrictions just a little? She shot back. Breakthroughs are coming soon. I have worked too hard to get to this point to ease up now. In that moment, I felt desperation and hope. Our entourage is on the precipice of saving lives and changing the world. I just pray we do it in time for my sister. There are moments in our lives that change everything. They can shatter our universe, redefine what's possible, and change the world. The thing about these moments, we usually only recognize them after they've passed. That's what makes tonight so special. We're standing in one of these moments right now. You heard Ia. The research is advancing. Drugs are entering clinical trials. Therapies for the final 10% are closer than ever before. But as fast as things are moving, CF can move faster. I saw it this past year with Ia's new diagnosis, threatening her future. And it isn't just Ia. It's thousands of other beautiful lives. They're getting sicker with each passing day, and they can't wait. For the past 10 years, everything EE has done, everything we've worked so hard for has been building up to this moment. And now it's here. Breakthroughs for the final 10% feel possible. This is the home stretch. Now is the time to double down and push harder than ever before to meet this moment and finish the job for 100% of the CF population. This is our moment. And it starts right here, right now. By being here tonight, you have already contributed. We are profoundly grateful for your generosity and support. If you are in a position to do so, I'm asking you to give a little bit more. You should have received a text message with a link. Click that link to go to our mobile donation page. If you didn't get a message, you can text CURE-CF to 44321. If you're still having difficulties, you must be my mom. Just joking. You can find a volunteer walking around with a purple beanie. Mom, you're great with technology. You can also go to the donation station on that side of the parking lot. We have 5 minutes to meet this moment and hit $10 million. Let's do it. Thank you, Jess Lazarus, Erin Golinkoff, Matthew Solomon. And once you make a donation, put that glow stick up in the air. You are spreading light and love. We want to shout you out. I see you right there in the back. Thank you. That's one donation there. Thank you, Julie and Amanda and Ted. I told you the Bernsteins are amazing. I have one more exciting announcement, and this is a big one. Everything we raise tonight, up to $25,000, will be matched thanks to Kenneth and Gloria Friedman. Kenneth and Gloria's daughter, Rebecca, has CF. She's in the 90%, who's actually benefiting from the life-saving treatment. What an incredible testament to this family who is benefiting, but they don't think 90% is enough. They are in it until 100%, and they think Team EE is the team that's going to do it. Thank you, Kenneth, Gloria, and the Friedman family. So let's be clear. This donation thermometer is moving up. We are at $8,000. Everything we raise to $25K will be matched. If we hit this $25K, that means that we have collectively raised $10 million since starting Emily's Entourage. Think about all that we've done up to this point. 22 research grants raised or awarded to top academic medical institutions around the world. $37.5 million in follow-ons funds secured. Oh, that's me. How's my booty look? Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, for making this happen. Let's hit 25K. We're at 10,000 right now. This is unbelievable. We have 2 minutes and 48 seconds left. Thank you all. I see lights in the middle. I see a few lights in the back. Wow. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Everything we raise up here, we're at 11. That's actually 22. Up to $25,000, everything will be matched. How are we doing? $13,000, wow. 14, we are moving. Thank you so much. I see lights here in the middle. Those are donations, and we are so grateful. Over there to the right, thank you. 15, 16, dollar for dollar, we have a match. Thank you, Friedman family. Thank you, Erica and Chloe from France. Cherie, Judy, Megan, Paula, we love you. Wow. This is our moment, and thank you for meeting it with me. This is phenomenal. Thank you, Joan and Stephen. Thank you, Susanna. I don't have any more words, so I'll dance. Thank you, Wendy and Arlene, Robert and Danielle. We are so incredibly grateful. $20,000. This is matched. That means $40,000. Let's do it, guys. We can hit 25K. We have a minute and 12 seconds left.
Quite honest with you, I ain't really sleep well. You ever feel like
21K, unbelievable. Thank you all. I see more lights absolutely glowing back there. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Trying to freeze hell. Some of us do it for the females.
21K, come on, we can do it. It is all matched. This is amazing. And we do have a few more surprises here tonight.
And I'll be in your corner like Nick, baby, till the end. And when you hear a song from that big lady, until the referee rings the bell, until both your eyes start to swell.
Thank you all so much for coming out. We were determined to make it happen, and somehow we did it. Wow, $30,000, unbelievable. Do you see that? Look at all of these lights. Thank you. And there is no one more grateful than these two beautiful women here. Please join me as we hit our goal, all because of you and this incredible entourage. Thank you for making it possible.
Here comes the
Wow. Thank you all so much. We are endlessly grateful for your support. Wow, thank you all so much.
Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. Say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. But there's a fire burning in my bones. Still believe. Yeah, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. Scream, I'm loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned off.
Testing.
Yeah. I got this feeling down in my bones. It's so electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying high, no ceiling when we're in the zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket. I got that good soul in my feet. And I got that hot blood in my body. When it drops, ooh, can't take my eyes off of it. Moving so phenomenally. Don't like the way we rock it, so don't stop. Woo! Under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When you move, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance. The good creeping up on you, so just dance. All the things I shouldn't do, so just dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. Don't stop the feeling. So just dance. Can't stop the feeling, yeah. So just dance. Ooh, it's magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. Ooh, don't need control. I'm flying high, no ceiling when I'm in the zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket. I got that soul in my feet. I got that hot blood in my body. When it drops, ooh, take my eyes off of it. You're moving so phenomenally. Don't like the way we rock it, so don't stop. Hey, under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When you move, you already know. So just imagine. When you start good creeping up on you, so just dance. All the things I shouldn't do, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance. Can't stop the feeling, yeah. Just dance. I can't stop the feeling, hey. Just dance. I can't stop the feeling, yeah. Just dance. Come on, clap those hands. Come on, clap those hands. Come on, clap those hands. We see you. Oh, yes, can't stop. I can't stop the feeling, yeah. I can't stop the feeling, yeah. I can't stop the feeling. Hey. Come on, y'all, just dance. Can't stop the feeling, yeah. Just dance. Can't stop the feeling. Just dance. Can't stop the feeling. Keep dancing. I got this feeling. Got this feeling in my body.
Thank you so much.
Well, I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah, maybe I needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, hallelujah, Now people, I've been here before. I know this room and I've walked this floor. I know I used to live alone before I knew ya. I saw your flag on the marble arch, but love is not just a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, but you can't find that fighter. But I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I rise like the day, and I rise unafraid, and I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I rise up high like the waves, and I rise up in spite of the ache. I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, silence isn't quiet. It feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll bring the world to its feet and I rise like the day, and I rise up. I rise unafraid. I rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, all we need is hope. You have each other. And we have each other. We will rise. We will rise. We will rise. We will rise. And I rise up. I rise like the day, and I rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And I rise up. must be a higher love down in the heart of the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time. Look inside your heart now, look inside mine. It looks so bad everywhere, yeah. In this whole world, what is fair? Oh, we walk the line and try to see, falling behind of where we need to be. Come on. Bring me a higher love, yeah. Bring me a higher love, yeah. Bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I keep thinking of. Bring me a higher love. Oh, yeah. Bring me a higher love. Oh,
we see you out there.
Bring me a higher love. Yeah, yeah. Oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. A higher love, yeah. Bring me a higher love. Yeah. Bring me a higher love. Yeah. Bring me a higher love. The world's turning, and we're just hanging on, finding ourselves standing up here all alone. Without it, life is just ain't right. Oh, yeah. In this land, everywhere. Oh, yeah. In this whole world, what is fair? Oh, we walk the line and try to see, falling behind of what needs to be.
Put your hands together, y'all.
Yeah. Bring me a higher love. Oh, come on. Bring me a higher love. Hey, yeah, yeah. Bring me a higher love. Come on, come on, come on. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Yeah. Bring me a higher love. 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 Come on. Bring me a higher love. 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 Bring me a higher love.
We see you clapping. Keep it up, y'all.
Come on. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love.
Thank you all so much, so much.
Thank you.